Well, hello guys, welcome to episode 28 of the Gottne Till I Die series. I am the Custard Prophet. So if you're new to this series, basically I've been trying to take the tiny Swedish club of Gottne IF, who start out in the game in the fourth tier of Swedish football, all the way to the top of Swedish football. And it's a hard old challenge to do. They're I think an amateur club when we started, so it's it's very, very challenging. And getting out of the fourth tier isn't particularly easy. So it's a big old playoff system that you can get embroiled in, which is very hard to come out of on top of. So today is a very special day, and it's a very special day for a good reason. We have managed in episode 28, so this is 28 of Gottne Till I Die, so it was part of a Journeyman series before that, and I've just fell in love with the club, so I carried on. But at this point, so about 50 episodes into this, and we are in 2026, so what's that, 6-7 years on? We have taken Gottne to the promised land, to the top division of Swedish football. And so we've done the transfer window. I want to talk about what has changed at the club, because it's not just that. The club has also gone professional. We were semi-pro in a league basically full of pro teams, the elite league just below this. We managed to win that league after a couple of seasons of really struggling, and managed to win it on the third season with, I think, some really good transfer business, some key transfers. So what we needed to do really is, to stay in this league is going to be impossible. We have got the likes of AIK, BK Häcken, Dörsgardens, Falkenberg. You go down the list, Hammarby, Elfsborg, Göteborg, Norrköping. They're all Malmo. They're all very good sides. We are the smallest side in here by a long way. Let's just make that point. So let's have a little look at the season preview. We will be bottom of this. I'd just be interested by how far. Yeah, okay, we're 1,000 to 1 along with Halmstad and the team with the long name. So it's going to be a challenge. There is the likes of Falkensberg and Sirius. So there are teams in a very small little group at the bottom who maybe we can be doing stuff against. But we've got to play Norrköping today, which is a very difficult thing. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do that in today's episode. What I might do is go through what's changed at the club, because there's been a heck of a lot of stuff that has changed at the club, which I want to take you through. So the first thing was sort of 3-4 steps that I wanted to do in the window once the last season finished. The first of those was to tie down the key players that were supposed to be leaving at the end of last season. So if you remember, we had Simpson, who was on loan in the centre of the park, who was outstanding last season. We had the goalkeeper, whose name's gone from my back end, was it? Who was on loan. And we had Sigurd Palsson, who didn't want to stay because I wasn't strengthening the coaching staff. So that's the first thing I want to do, and we'll just have a little look. You can see there's a lot of players in here, and we will have a little look through who's come in. But I wanted to point out Bernat is here. He can't play in the first game because he's on loan from Norrköping, but he is here. And not Backer. I don't know where that came from, but he managed to re-sign him. Probably key to everything. Jordan Simpson is still here. You can see he's only 3.5 star now, and there's a reason for that. There's a good reason for that. And probably my most important transfer was agreeing for Sigurd Palsson, who is now just a 3-star player, amazingly, to stay. And look at him in all his glory. And what a season he had last season. 18 goals. He is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So that was number one. Second thing I needed to do was to get the staff sorted, because we were running the club on a shoestring really previously. I mean, we still got issues, but we had a load of money from winning the league. We had about £800,000, and as a professional club, if we want to actually do this, we need to have a proper staff. So we got increased coaching staff. I haven't completely filled it out, and the reason for that is I don't want to overburden the budget, but I thought we needed a lot more. We lost our assistant manager, so I don't normally go through this, but I thought it would be fairly important to. So the assistant manager, Bo SodaStream, he left, and got this guy in, Emil Wallstrom, who I think is very, very good for this. For what we can offer, he was very good. He came through from assistant manager from Angle Homes in the fourth tier, so he looks very, very good for this level. We also brought in a couple of coaches. Recruitment side, we brought in a bunch of scouts, a couple more scouts. We brought in a sports scientist as well. We got a new chief doctor, so we made an awful lot of changes in our squad. The other interesting thing that's worth pointing out is this wasn't done by me, but it's kind of cool that it's happened. Here we go. In as fitness coach, in the reserves is Jonas Thielen, who, he's got some reasonable stats. I mean, he's got good determination. I mean, actually, none of the coaching stats are any good. He basically can't coach, and he can't motivate. But it's Jonas Thielen. We can't not have him out. So I was really pleased to see him joining the club. So what we also want to go through then is the transfers. Who's come in? Who has gone out? Let's have a look at who left, and a couple who have gone out. My Traore, he has moved on, and Eric Van Leest has also moved on. So yeah, it's either of them got a club. No, I mean, my Traore, he's an okay player, isn't he? But look, last season he got 8 games, scored 1 goal. I mean, it's a reasonable rating, but I felt we needed to kind of move on. And Van Leest, he was pissed off he wasn't getting any game time. He got 6 games last season, and let's just have a look at his stats. He's okay, but you look a lot of those stats are just not good enough for the level we're at. I mean, the only things that are kind of high are things you don't necessarily want to be high. He just punches the ball all the time, which isn't great. His handling's okay, but he was wanted actually by someone. Nope, no one's interested anymore, so he'll probably retire. So, who have we brought in? I sort of went through the players that I might want to bring in, and this is what we've done. As you can see, we have spent some money. You won't recognise necessarily any of those players, because why would you? Apart from maybe the top one. So I think I may have even shown you this guy. So we wanted somebody who could offer some competition on the right side of midfield, and this guy popped up, E2 Ojanen, who had reasonable crossing, good first touch, and fairly fast. It seemed a reasonable signing. I wasn't at this point, I think, sure that I was going to be going up, but he did okay for Honka in Finland. I think he's an okay signing. He's not a brilliant signing, but he's an okay signing. So yeah, so we've lost my Traore, and I needed to bring in a striker, and I had a player, sort of a pressing forward, who was I'd kind of pretty much agreed everything with, and he ended up going to Sirius. So one of my you know how you get the things from agents saying, oh, we've got so and so who are looking for a new club, and they came up with this guy, Hassan Omataya, who was an African striker, whose contract at Ingu Rangers was running out. I say African, I can't remember what country. I think it might be Nigerian. I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to show him yet. So I couldn't see any of his stats. I couldn't scout him because he was out of our scouting range. And there was other teams sniffing around with him. So I took the plunge and went for him. I thought, well, we've lost my Traore. At worst, we will have Alp, Hasanbegovic, Sigurpalsson. That's fine. And he might be a crap player, but he might be a gold player. He might be absolute gold, considering what we'd found before at Orebro. Out of Africa, so the likes of Bamba, who came out of there and was absolutely unbelievable. So day I signed him, I opened up his statistics page, and this is what I saw. Look at this. I had no idea what he was. He could have been anything, but he looks bloody outstanding. There is. And he's, look at him, he's 18 years old, and this is the standard he's at. This is Gottne signing this player, and this is what we got. So he looks another worldie. He's loyal. This is good. I'm massively excited about seeing what he can do. He's a youngster. He's raw. He scored 3 goals in 4 games in pre-season, so that's exciting. But yeah, so that's absolutely brilliant. So then, who the heck's this? I can't remember who that is. Alauvi. Well, we'll have a look. I can't remember. Oh yeah. So I wanted. So I had. Obviously, we'd lost Van Leet. We needed a goalkeeper, and I was going to get a young Swedish backup goalkeeper. But then this bloke came along. He was free, and he looked really good. I mean, his goalkeeping stats are quite fantastic. Physically, there are areas that he can improve. I mean, you wouldn't want him, you wouldn't want him running the 100 metres for you, but he's certainly a quality goalkeeper. So we've signed him up, and he will be going head to head with the lone goalkeeper, and hopefully one of them will come out on top. So also wanted a centre-back, and this is the centre-back we've got, and he looks bloody epic. We're paying through the nose for him, £1,700. That's how numbers work. And his physicals and mental stats are quite outstanding. And, as a centre-back, you only need them to be able to head, mark and tackle, really. It'd be good to be able to pass, which you can sort of do. But a lot of these other things you don't care about. And look at his 4.5 star player. Absolutely fantastic. We paid nothing for him. He's just come from Norrköping. Didn't get a game there. He's been at Malmo. He's been at Brann. He's been all round the place and never really settled. Well, this is his club. He is our main man at the back. And the amount of other players we've got around there, it's only going to be a good thing. Right then, so then obviously the left side of midfield was a problem because we had the guy, I can't remember, he's gone, the Syrian guy, Badkey, that's him, who could play there. But what I wanted to do was get someone who was a little bit better and who maybe can do a job there. What I found with this guy is not only can he play there, but he can also cover at left back as well. So 2 birds, 1 stone, absolutely fantastic. I was looking at left backs, don't need a left back now. So Bernhardsson is our new first choice left midfielder, stroke backup left back. There's still more coming in. So I tried to sign Viljanen from wherever he went, Malmo, I think it was. He lost him for £90,000 last season. About halfway through, and almost scuppered us. I had it all agreed. In the end, he decided to go to Sirius, traitor. But it did not matter. It did not matter one bit, because we then found this lad. We've paid some money for him. He's a 3-star, potential 4-star player who is a lot better than Viljanen. A lot better. Look at the marking, passing, tackling, all the things you want in that position. He's 22, he's young, he's Swedish. It's all right, all good. I'm super excited about him. He's 3 stars. I think he's better than that. It's probably some of these other stats that are dragging him down a little bit. But you don't need most of those within this. You just need him to be able to tackle and then pass it to someone, which is what Viljanen did. So Linus Olsson is in that position. And then around the same time, I was looking for other people to bring in. And so we've got this guy who's going to back up both Olsen and the more advanced midfielder positions. He can pass the ball. Tackling he can do as well, and he's fairly good with his mental statistics. So I think it's gone well. And then right at the end of the season, so I was done. I was finished. I was really happy with that. And all of a sudden, we had a note saying Hasanbegovic is injured. He will be out for between 3 and 6 months, and that was fun. So he's gone to the specialist, and I'm hoping he'll be back soon. But obviously, all of a sudden, we were down to 3 strikers, so we needed to bring someone in. I looked on loan initially, couldn't find anyone appropriate, but this guy came into my inbox, my scouting box, and I think, wow, he offers something completely different. We don't play with a target man. We had, if you remember, a few seasons ago, we had Bertrand, something like that, Burstand, someone like that, who didn't do very well, but this guy is infinitely better. He's a target man, he's big, he's strong, but he's fast. He's basically Lukaku of the Swedish leagues. He's not so good at finishing, and that will be good for him to work on his and he actually can take a penalty, which is nice. And it's not his free kicks. Yeah, the interesting thing about Amatoyo, he can take a free kick, which is nice. We don't have that really in the team, so excellent stuff. So we got Kone now, who absolutely tore it up in the friendlies. So let's have a look at the friendlies. I'll have a look at the finances. So finances, that has cut a massive hole in our budget, but we're still £250,000 in profit, and we were told we are going to get over the course of the season about £1.5 million in TV revenue, which you cannot sniff at. Whatever happens, so we will get over £1 million in money. We need to, there's no difference between 11th place really and 16th place, so looks like we'll be getting £1.1 million, something like that. It starts to creep up after that, up to 2.7 million. So we basically are looking to finish in 14th. That's what we're wanting to do, and if we can stay up via the playoffs, that will be awesome. Developments, we are terrible, and I've asked the squad, I've asked the board to try and give us some more money, but I've asked the board to improve youth recruitment and to improve youth training. No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to improve training facilities. They're not going to improve anything. I suppose they've spent money on going professional, and they're going to see what happens. So yeah, we've got a terrible reserve squad and a rubbish under 19 squad, and that's what we've got, and nothing really we can do about it. Squad wise, we're done, we're finished. Dynamics have taken a hit. They're better than they were, so these are doing really well. I've managed to get the dressing room atmosphere to good. Still, the turnover of players and staff are troubling people, but I think it had to be done, and that has affected the team cohesion. So what I have done with the training, a la old lady plays, is I have been throwing in team bonding sessions every week to make sure we can build that team cohesion back up again. And it's working. It is working. So that is good. And we're not getting too many using Old Lady Plays' tactic of criticising every single time your people who are training badly, and being a bit, waiting until someone gets over an 8 to praise those who are doing better. Then that seemed to work brilliantly last season, so I'm doing it again this season, and we'll see what happens. Squad itself is looking a bit big. It's looking a bit unwieldy, but I think it was necessary to get these guys in. As you see, Hasanbegovic is out injured. 2 to 3 months he's going to be out for. And look at his star rating. It's down to 2 stars, which is, horribly disappointing for him. But it's fine. We have some amazing players. I think Alp is going to be a bit annoyed. I think probably Hagman and Feike are going to get a bit annoyed, and the Eagle, he might get a game. Actually, I didn't realise he was a leader at the back, so he might get a game. Right back is a position where maybe not as strong as we could be on, and that's probably an area we'll look to improve next up. But we can't improve it all at the same time. Right, and guys, so that's going to be it for today. I wanted to go through this in some detail because I thought it was particularly important, and we're already on 20 minutes, so we don't want to play a game. When we come back on, what are we on? Be on Friday, we will play the first game of the season against Norrköping, and we'll see how this team gets on. Let me know in the comments who out of this rabble you think is going to be our key player. Who do you think? Which of these signings that I've made do you think are good? Who's going to be the flop out of them all? After having a chance to have a look at everyone, and I want a prediction from you. Where are we going to finish in the league? Are we going to stay up before you see any football? Oh, before I go, let's have a little look at the schedule. This is what we put in. So first game we lost against Inter Turku. Sigurd Palsson got the goal, but then after that we've absolutely smashed every team we've played. Well, not smashed, we've beaten them. But Berg Hansen and Sigurd Palsson with a couple of goals, then Ojanen and Hasanbegovic with the goals, Kone with 2, and Hagman with the third in against the Friska Vrjor. Then the 3-0 win, Ingemundsen, Omatoya and Alp. And then we played a very weak side, which I put in right at the end just to get that confidence back to sky high, where we beat St Mary's Home, who likely sound like they had a bunch of sort of 78-year-old women out, but maybe they didn't. So and Omatoya got a couple, Kone got 3, Simpson got 1, Jarrett, Safstrom and Alp all with goals. So great stuff. I think that set us up beautifully. And we're playing Norrköping, and that's going to come straight up on Friday. First up, it's going to be a short episode, I guess, but we'll see how we get on. Thank you very much for watching this. I hope you're excited for the season ahead. I certainly am. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you are new, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.